It's the NFL on EA Sports. And coming up next, we'll see Kenneth Walker. He should be a busy man out of the backfield. It's the Seahawks and the Cardinals, and it's all just ahead on Madden NFL 25.
With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Cardinals here, they come in off the extended break from the bye.
I think it was much needed as well. You play 2.5 months, you're ready for some time off to get set for the home stretch.
The final playoff push is upon us. It's week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. Oh, a good-looking return setup here. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Seahawks set to go on offense here, and it is the Pro Bowler Geno Smith at quarterback, Charles, in his 12th NFL season.
And Smith continues to show that his career resurgence hasn't been some fluke. He's brought a level of maturity, stability, and good play that allows him to compete with any team on any given week. The real question is whether or not he can become a championship-caliber quarterback. Only time will tell, but for now, he's done enough to give this franchise reason to believe they can certainly get the job done.
2nd down and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 39-yard line.
Off of play action, here's Smith. He'll let this go deep for Smith and Jigba. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
3 yards to go.
Play action, it's Smith. He completes this to Walker. No gain at all on the play there, and that brings up 4th. So likely a 3-and-out on their opening drive. That's not a good omen for a team that's lost 3 straight games.
Too many threes that you're mentioning right there. That's a number they've got to get off of. And the big risk you're running right now is discouragement amongst the ranks. How do you keep them up? How do you keep them motivated? They've got to dial up something to give themselves some confidence.
Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. First carry for James Conner. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. Balled at the 26, 2nd and 7.
Not a lot of running room there, not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
And Conner going to pick up a Cardinals 1st down as he'll get this up past the 35-yard line.
First down.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
They'll stay on the ground with Conner again, and he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 as they move the sticks.
A gain of 5. First down, Arizona.
Murray now. And this nearly an interception right off the bat. An early crisis averted as that winds up incomplete. Now a 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Murray. Screen pass to Conner. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. He'll try and run for it with Connor. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
First down, Cardinals.
Throwing quickly to Wilson. Yeah, this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. From the 34-yard line, here's second down and 1. And his throw is incomplete. You talk about this Seahawk defense. Now, they're going to be tough to throw on, no doubt. Currently ranked 3rd in the NFL against the pass.
And since this is such a good unit of covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped him, bringing up 4th down.
4th down, Murray off, and the Cards field goal unit and Matt Prater out there now. From the right hash, this from 53. Prater's kick is good, and the Cardinals have the first points. It's 3-0. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you come in off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession, it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. So the Cardinals offense back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And they were winners the last time they took the field, which was 2 weeks ago. They had the open week last week, so this is a squad that should be really refreshed and ready to roll.
I would agree, because when you get that open week after a victory, it does wonders for everyone. Obviously, your body, get a chance to heal up, but your mind as well. You feel good about winning, so now you can get away from it for a few days, put down the playbook, turn off the film. Just be you. Enjoy that time away, and then you come back ready to go.
And he'll get this to about the 34, a gain of just 3. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. From the gun on 3rd down, Murray steps away to his left. Murray with a nice move. And a nice job there defensively. They get him to the ground short of the first, right around the 42. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down.
No surprise to see him running again here. It's something he's done throughout this season, and that run puts him over 500 yards on the ground for the year. He's got to be thinking to himself, if I'm already at 500, what's to stop me from going for 1,000?
Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. Now Geno. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. Geno now to throw. They'll lock it with a grab over. Puts it on the carpet. It's out. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. Now it's Smith off the bootleg. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he goes out right around the 39. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and a yard.
Now a play fake, and it's Smith. Man open downfield, it's Metcalf. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. That is taken in by the tight end Fant. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 25 yards that time.
1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
First carry here for Ken Walker. He gets away from one and stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
First and goal at the 3-yard line.
A shotgun snap for Smith. Touchdown, Seahawks. Tyler Lockett, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead.
And that drive we just saw that culminated in a touchdown, exactly what many offenses are looking for. Sustained ones that can impose their will on the other team.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards. And it ends with a Tyler Lockett touchdown. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. With the football back in the hands of the Arizona Cardinals. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And Murray in trouble here, and down he goes. It'll only be a loss of a couple, but the pressure gets home on first down.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Murray a give. This is Connor. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all. You talk about this Seahawk defense. They come into this one rounding out the top 10 in the 10 spot against the run.
I jotted down in my notes in prepping for this game that this is definitely an area we got to keep an eye on, because you're talking about where they rank in stopping the run. But how about what they're facing? This unit loves to run the football, and they rank highly in the league in getting it done.
Yeah, power against power. Something's got to give.
That was a good effort there, trying to do it on his own. But as a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you. And if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head. So
better to track with your man defensively than try to go up and make a stop on the quarterback.
Exactly right. What you're hoping is that your guys in the front 7 can get him down.
So here are the Seahawks ready to take over on offense. They are trying to snap that 3-game losing streak, on top so far with the football here, 1st and 10. Here's Walker to start the drive. And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30. Well, this defense for the Cardinals very strong in that victory a week ago.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defensive coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
3rd and 3.
Brings up 3rd and 3.
Throwing now is Geno. That is caught, and he is going to have a Seahawks first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. They'll send the tight end in motion left. Now Smith. Got a man. It's Brown. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. The Seahawks at 4-6 now on the year. They've lost 3 straight here, and it kind of goes without saying, I guess, but they could certainly use a win.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's a difference between a losing stretch and a losing streak, and right now, they're not playing their best football, but if they were to fall here, and now you're looking at going 4 games without a win, things can start compounding themselves pretty quickly from this point forward. What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10, down at the 31. Up the middle, here's Walker. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Now we're going to get a timeout here, as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Now the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. 2nd and 10. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. Now after all of this, hang on here, because he appears to be shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. Throwing is Smith. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23. Now we're going to get a timeout here, as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. Here we go on 4th. Smith. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Now we're going to get a stoppage here, as we've got an injured Cardinal on the field. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Now it's Smith. That's to the pylon and incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Out of the gun, a give to Charbonnet. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal.
Brings up 3rd and goal.
Here's Smith. Flush to his right. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off, because in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
Myers' kick is good. So 3 points on the board, as easy a field goal as you're going to get, but I can see you shaking your head.
I love that peripheral vision of yours, partner, because to me, if it's the 4th quarter and you're up 6, I get it. But now, even if you run and don't get in, you're still setting them up to go a long field, 98, 99-yard drive. How do you look at your defense and not give them that opportunity?
And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The football going back over to Arizona now. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. Here's Connor on the read option. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5. Now the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. On the counter, it's Connor. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Murray going to throw. A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
And he gets this only to the 41, not near enough for the first. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that. Here's Blake Gillikin now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Get a look at DK Metcalf as this offense returns to the field. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally, he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that, too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise he can really decimate them.
Better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability. On the give, here's Charbonnet. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. The offense on 3rd down, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I know we're just in the second quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's his second drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in. Skirts by him at the 35. It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Arizona's offense back out and ready to go. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with him punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Here's 2nd and 10. Murray now to throw. A short one here, caught by McBride. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10. They'll fake it to Connor. Now Murray. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. Blake Gillikin on to punt here as he'll send this one away. Returnable for Lockett. 6-yard return after a punt of 48. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll begin here with a run with Charbonnet. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
It'll go as a gain of 4. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. To throw is Smith. Being chased out left. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Throwing now is Murray. A short one here, caught by McBride. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
Out of the gun, here's Murray. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
And he's able to get it to the 33, good enough for a 1st down. And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. Throw left side complete. That's Connor. And he'll be out right at the 35. A Cardinal 1st down on a gain of 13.
1st down, Arizona.
Off the option, here's Murray running left. Able to push his way through. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Out of the shotgun, they'll run with Connor. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
1st down, Cardinals.
Murray giving to Connor on the option. Dances by him. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. On 1st and 10 is Connor. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
At the 35-yard line.
Here's Murray. Flushed out right. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, everything that happened before that fumble was great. Good vision, navigated the open field, got good chunk yardage. At that point, if you see a defender coming, though, just step out of bounds. Don't risk all you picked up before the hit to just try and get an extra yard or 2.
DK Metcalf for the Seattle offense about set to take over once again. He's the star wide receiver, and he's doing his thing so far here into the 2nd quarter.
And how you get distinguished as a star is each and every week performing to a high level no matter what they throw at you, because you're always wanting to take him out of the game if you're a defensive team. How do you press him, double him, triple him, all those things? But the best players show up each and every week, solid games and some spectacular ones.
And he has showed up time and time again. And he will get enough for a first down, and that will lead us to the 2-minute warning. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. Now Smith. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
From his goal line here, Smith. A quick throw, but incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he's able to get it out of there. Here comes Dortch on the return. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Cardinal offense takes back over. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. To throw is Murray. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. To throw, it's Murray. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. Here's Murray. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Here comes the Cardinals punter now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Now it's Lockett. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. The Seahawks going to take over now late in this first half. And we'll see how much they want to push things, leading already here 10-3. Geno now to throw. And a dangerous throw there, incomplete. He threw that into coverage. It was nearly intercepted. Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now Geno. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. Well, the Cardinals going to get the football one final time here in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. More from you and Charles in a bit. But first, time for a look around the NFL to see what's going on here in the late window. We'll get our tour started out at venerable Soldier Field in Chicago, where it was the visitors from the north, the Vikings, who were able to get the road victory. J.J. McCarthy, sharp in the victory, as his guys get back within a game of 500. From there, let's head west to see what's going on with the Raiders at home in Las Vegas. And they were winners in that one as they take care of the visiting Denver Broncos. Gardner Minshew, sharp in the victory, as his guys get back within a game of 500. For the Seahawks in the first half, they were led by their quarterback, Geno Smith. He has a touchdown pass, and that amounted to the only touchdown of the game for either team thus far.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. It's been a tight game to this point. What do they need to do, Charles, to break through in the second half and take the lead?
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is thank their defense for keeping them in this game. And, you know, I think the defense is saying back to them, why don't you guys focus on getting some first downs, putting some drives together, give us a little bit of a break here. If we can get some rest, we'll play even better for you. And, oh, by the way, pay off a few of those drives with some points, too.
Running left on the handoff, Carter. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here.
Holding offense.
Now they face a second and long following the holding penalty. Carter will try the right side. And he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage with a penalty flag down. This might push him back further. Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
Now we're going to get a stoppage here as we've got an injured Cardinal on the field. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Murray now. And this is going to be incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
That's taken it around the 40. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the second half. Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. They'll fake it. Now Smith. And he's got Smith and Jigba. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Now a play fake, and it's Smith. This ball caught by McIntosh. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
At the Cardinals 17-yard line.
Smith. That's caught over the middle by Fant. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And the Seahawks first down. First and 10 at the 12-yard line.
Again, Smith. And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be. Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. And he's going to be dropped back at the 15-yard line. Buda Baker, the safety, he gets in from the secondary for the sack. Now a tough spot for Geno Smith and company after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Throwing now is Geno. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Smart move to throw that one away. You're in field goal range, so you definitely don't want to be loose with the ball. And that's great work by this defense to force a 4th down.
32-yard attempt.
Myers' kick is good. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. So the lead extended. I think at this point you say, hey, defense, take us to the end.
Well, if I got some good music to put to that, I could have a good country hit. I like the way you expressed yourself there. I think the offense has done enough so far. But like you say, if your defense is only giving up 3 points, makes it a lot easier to settle for field goals on this side of the ball.
The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. They trail by 10, 13-3 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Now Carter to start the drive. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Big Leonard Williams, the one who came in and got him.
If these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now Murray off play action. Open man is Higgins. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss there. Now 3rd and 14.
We'll put that one in the win column for the defense. Trying to contain tight ends in the passing game is so difficult nowadays, but they did in a big way there.
And that is incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively, and you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
From the gun, here's Smith. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. To the right side, incomplete to Metcalf. And it's not going to be enough here. A gain of 4, about 2 feet short of the marker, 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. .47-yard punt, a return of 4. And out will come the offense as they take over. Well, the football back in the hands of the Arizona Cardinals. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Wilson. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Now Murray. Escaping, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Credit the sack to Jonathan Hankins.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now as he's on to kick it away. This is fielded at the 27. That's a 49-yard punt, 8 though on the return. As Seattle now ready to march out of the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Play action. It's Smith. He'll find his man, Laviska Shenault. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
Smith. There's another one complete to Shenault. So the completion good for 7 there. And it's 2nd down.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 11-yard line.
Here's Smith. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And the Seahawks are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
For another Seahawks. First and goal at the 2-yard line.
Charbonnet trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. Again, it's Charbonnet, and this time he's in. Touchdown, Seattle. Well, nothing fancy there, Charles. You had 3 tight ends on the field. They were going to run the football. The defense knew it, but the defense couldn't stop them.
And I haven't met an offensive line yet that doesn't get more satisfaction out of running the football into the end zone than pass protecting. They had determination on their side, and they got it done.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The football going back over to Arizona now. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Another tote for Carter. And not a whole lot there. Maybe a yard to the 27. Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. And that leaves them with 3rd and long, which means you've got to dial up something pretty good. Think your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
It's a screen play here for Carter. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
To me, this is a case of if you're not getting the ball, you've got to do your job and block for the guy who is, because there really wasn't much there. And, boy, the defense took advantage with that loss.
And the defense, they were just locked in there on 3rd. They had more guys than they could block. Returnable for Lockett. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seahawks offense and Geno Smith headed back out for this next possession. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. A little eager there coming in from his outside linebacker position.
You think the hard count got him there?
Yes.
Maybe that extra that extra emphasis on it got him to jump, and they picked up 5 yards.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense, 1st and 10. On the option, it's Charbonnet. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
And his throw here's incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
And this is too far behind his man. He missed him. It's incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Throwing now is Murray. Runs through the contact, and he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple. They'll run for the first time with Amari DiMercato. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. Now we're going to get a stoppage here as we've got an injured Cardinal on the field. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Take it at the 37. It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field. Speed is the name of the game when it comes to RPOs, and sometimes you can be a little too quick, thus inaccurate Incomplete.
Back to throw, Smith. This is Fant on the short completion. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Michael Dixon to punt for the Seahawks.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's Cardinal football, but they trail here as we get set to bring you the 4th and final quarter. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They were coming off the extra week of rest, but this team started sluggish, and it really didn't get any better from there, and trailing big here in this 4th quarter. Here's Murray. Man open, here is Jones. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A gain there of 30 big ones. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
A short one here, caught by McBride. And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And now another one thrown incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Cardinals unable to convert there on 4th down. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. Now, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? You want to go for it here? We shut you down. They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
He's brought down back at the 40-yard line.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment defense.
So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
So the penalty erases their earlier loss. Now it's 2nd and 8. And from the gun, here's a handoff to Charbonnet. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every...
Pressure comes, and the Cardinals bring him down. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. It looked like they were trying to get him outside there, but this defense had different plans.
Yeah, they really had an outside-in kind of a pass rush. It's almost like when you're covering a punt. You can't let him get to the outside and get to the sideline. You force him to stay in the middle of the field, and they did exactly that and made the play.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Arizona's offense back out and ready to go. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. Murray going to throw. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the fourth quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
And that is incomplete. As this one moves towards its conclusion, another incomplete pass there. Thoughts on the secondary? I mean, seem to be pretty effective in this one.
Yeah, I thought that they've been absolutely outstanding. I mean, their job is to prevent touchdowns, and not a single touchdown is going on the board against them. Of course, they want to make it a total shutout, but hey, if you don't give up touchdowns, you got a heck of a chance to win.
The Cardinals unable to convert there on fourth down, and that will force a turnover on downs. Now the ball now going back over the Seattle Seahawks offense. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only first down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on second down.
Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down. Here's Smith. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. More than one defender there, and that's a loss of 5 on the sack.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down. Murray now to throw. And this will be swung out here for counter. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And that will be incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Shakes off the sack. Oh, he sheds himself free. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth.
I am willing to bet that he got a monster grin on his face when he saw what was happening. Man coverage was so committed to denying a big throw that it pulled attention away from him, and he had an easy lane to hit, and hit it he did.
And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down.
It's now second and 10.
To throw is Murray. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
And this is a rarity in the NFL, a 100-yard game on the ground for a quarterback. Even as those passers get more athletic and mobile, we only see about 5 of these a season. It takes a special set of circumstances for it to happen, and of course, a special player.
That pass completed to Dortch. And he's going to be touched down right at the line of scrimmage. Here's second and 10.
At the 27-yard line.
Carter straight ahead. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
To throw, it's Murray. And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field, and that brings up fourth. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Cardinals unable to convert there on fourth down. And this 10-play drive winds up yielding nothing. Well, that's the 4th time that they've tried to go for it on fourth down. They've only converted once, Charles.
And obviously not a good percentage. And if you're going to go for it on fourth down, you think that you've got the right play dialed up. You can't be stopped. Your momentum's going to keep going. But 1 for 4, that tells you that you need to look at things in a different way, and you need to tip your cap to the defense. They've done a great job.
Now they'll start on the ground with Charbonnet. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 56 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
A 7-yard pickup brings up
Here's second and 3. There's Charbonnet once again. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. They get 17 on that one, move the chains, first down Seahawks.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Second and 6.
second and 6 at the 40-yard line.
And now a handoff to Charbonnet. And he gets it down to the 32. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
They work now on second and 9.
At the 31-yard line.
On the carry, Charbonnet. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves them with a third down and 8.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They've got a fourth down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. Myers' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Now we're going to get a stoppage here as we've got an injured Cardinal on the field. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. Well, probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the fourth quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better than the other in this one. And while it didn't quite reach blowout status, I think we knew who was going to win this one well before we got to this stage.
Murray now. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for them. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Devin Witherspoon getting a hand in there that time.
Well, these guys are not going to go out with their tails between their legs. They're going to keep taking their shots until the clock's at triple zeros. But that one, like a lot of others, winds up incomplete.
They're going to run. Here's Connor fighting him off. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Facing a fourth down, they come away with 18 yards and the first down conversion. Here's Murray. Here's Higgins out on the right side. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. Screen pass to Connor. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. Second down and 6 now. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan and especially the execution.
And that will be incomplete as well.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw them break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Now Murray's got to have this one. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play. Connecting on the out route here with Higgins. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. This is a 2nd and 4, ball at the 9. Looking to throw. Murray. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked. And now look at him go. And a terrific return as he brings this one all the way back to the 30.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And out now come the Seahawks. And it's starting to look like that 3-game losing streak is going to be a thing of the past here. Coming up 1st and 10 in the fourth quarter. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. So the victory here for Seattle. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter. But 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you can win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you said baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time and the hitters get to see him. And then they come out after that and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
So for the Seahawks, the win gets them a step closer to 500 at 5-6. And they will hit the road next week to take on the New York Jets. Meanwhile, for Arizona, it's starting to look like it won't be their year as they drop to 5-6. They'll be off to Minneapolis next week for a look at new U.S. Bank Stadium and a date with the Vikings. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.